All right, all right. Charlie Burris and right now, Austin Stanley of A to Z Sports is with me. We may attempt to patch in Crompton at some point here. Jonathan Crompton, who I normally host this with, former Vols quarterback. He's at the game, and he may try to hop on with us here from his phone. But it is 65-0 at halftime. One of the more unbelievable halves of football that I'd probably ever seen.
One of the more. Like, what's
I legitimately
get through the open, and then I'll ask you what the other one is.
I mean, seriously. Obviously, this is the A to Z Sports Big Orange halftime reaction show. Brought to you by the good folks at Zen Sports. We'll tell you more about them in just a second. But I mean, what do you say? What are we supposed to say? 65-0. They're playing a high school team out there. I like that is just, and the Heupel's out here doing onside kicks and just throwing whatever at the wall, calling timeouts with a minute to go in the half when he's up by 50 freaking points. It's really ridiculous, man. I guess we can just go ahead. Give us your high level thoughts there, Austin.
I mean, they're abusing Kent State more than Georgia football players abuse the traffic laws.
Laws.
Come on. I mean, this is ridiculous. Writes right here in the comments says, I feel bad for Kent State. And I tweeted, I've had a great time tweeting. I am dead sober. I've had so many one-liner jokes that I've almost tweeted, but didn't. But one of them was, I do feel bad for the Kent State center, right? I mean, 3 bad snaps out of the first 4 third downs. At one point, Kent State in the first quarter had minus 31 total yards, and Tennessee had 283. Like, both of those numbers are stupid. Like, the fact that Tennessee had 283 yards in the first quarter, and then Kent State had minus 31. It's insane. And I mean, Josh Heupel with the 30-0 onside kick. I mean, I don't understand why or how. I mean, he saw South Alabama put up 87, I guess, Thursday night, and he's trying to do that. Almost did it in the first half. I mean, this is absurd. And so, Charlie, what is the other crazy first half that you've seen that's not this one? Because you said one of the craziest. I want to know what else you've been watching.
I'll remind. I see some folks asking where Cromp is. I only said it right there at the very beginning. Crompton is at the game. He's trying to patch in with us from his phone. Yes. We'll have him hop on here if we can get him. Hopefully. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I go back to, other ones with Heupel. He's had some pretty crazy ones, but outside of that, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, this is one. You could call it 2 things. One of the most impressive and also maybe one of the most sad halves of football I've ever seen out of a football team. Also, yeah, I don't know what a comparison is here, because this is a final score. You have a final score at halftime for a snoozer game. Tennessee scored 69 against UTC, who's an FCS team, and you have 65 at halftime. You were mentioning you crossed the over.
Yes.
In the first half.
The total was 62.5. Tennessee did it by its damn self in the first half. And I bet the alternate spread, Tennessee's a 49-point favorite. I know it's a Zen Sports show, but Tennessee was a 49-point favorite. I bet the alternate minus 55.5. I was like, they're going to win by 8 touchdowns. Absolutely. And they've scored 9 touchdowns in the first half. And then the safety. Like that. That's how many, like, let's think about this. It scored 9 touchdowns in the first half. That's just, I think, verbally speaking, that sounds crazier than actually watching it happen. 9 touchdowns in the first half, and all of them were offensive. Like, it wasn't like they had like a pick 6 or a fumble or a punt return that just goes in like 1 12-second play. I mean, some of their offensive drives go in 12 seconds, but I mean, the fact that they had 9, I mean, that's 9 offensive drives, 9 touchdowns, right?
Mhm.
There's no other outcome of a Tennessee offensive drive than a touchdown so far.
They have faced so little resistance from this Kent State team. What do you even say? Like, if you legitimately, if you are this Kent State coach at halftime, what are you saying to
Yeah.
these boys? Like, what you just like? We're here to collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
Just keep your body safe so that
Like,
we
I knew this
can.
was going to be bad going into it. Like, then I heard Tom Hart say at the very beginning of the broadcast that Kent State hasn't won a game in a calendar year. And I was just like, oh, God.
They lost to an
And then,
FCS team last week.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
like St. Francis, Pennsylvania or something.
Yep.
And
And oh, go ahead.
no, I just no. You asked like, what does the coach say? I legitimately feel bad for that guy. Like
Me
this is
too.
not. It's not okay. Like this is not fun. Like we can make it jokes and laugh, and the fact that they showed the body farm as Tennessee's up 44-0 with 13 minutes in the second quarter is also very cruel. And Tom Hart made the joke too. Like he's like, Jordan, I'm surprised you didn't take an opportunity to do that. Like let's add more dead bodies to the body farm of Kent State's football team. Like it is awful. Like this is so bad. I don't know. And it sucks because like these are legitimately like collegiate athletes
I
that
mean,
are getting blanked 65-0 at halftime.
obviously Tom Hart comes up with his own quips on probably on the fly there, but I would assume that body farm thing was planned. They had that ahead of time.
I mean, he said it in the second. He was like, we're going to talk about this in the fourth quarter."
I didn't even notice that. There's a couple
Yeah.
people at our house hanging out. And we were talking, so I didn't hear everything that Tom Hart said there. But that's wowie. I mean that. Yeah, it really is cruel and unusual punishment. And look, the fact is this: they put in the second team halfway through the second quarter, and Gaston Moore went out there and gashed him for a huge throw. He's going for a 15-yard scramble and still making plays on these guys. Like what do you want us to do? Just pack it up and just run the
I
ball
mean,
on every single play
they
because
are.
we would still, if we ran the ball on every single play, we'd still score.
And that's what's happening. I mean,
Yeah.
Bishop had back-to-back carries. One went for 53 yards for a touchdown, the other 47 yards for a touchdown. Like, okay, like if you're gonna hand the ball off, like, and they don't tackle you, what are you supposed to do? Slide?
I mean, because it doesn't matter who you're throwing at these guys right now. Everybody, I mean, Deshaun Bishop's the backup, and he has 2 touchdowns and a long run of 53. Like, I don't know. That's kind of tell the game there.
How many carries does Bishop have?
17 yards per.
Get 7 for 120.
For 120. Boy. Yeah, it's pretty tough. But I guess I will say this. Nico, to this point in the game, had some very impressive throws. A couple, the bomb. Who was that? Was it Brazel?
That was a little Brazel dazzle on the bomb.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful on a free play. Kent State went off sides, and he just kind of chucked it up there. And then he had another pass where he kind of threw a guy open. Great anticipation.
The one over the middle to Nimrod.
Yes.
That's the one that's getting, if you're on Twitter, that one's making the rounds because it just like, and Cole Kublik said it on the broadcast too. He was like, that window was ridiculous, like to get that in there. And they showed it and it really was.
At the same time, he's not playing like that well overall outside of those couple of things. And maybe that's the craziest part of this entire thing is that he's not like lighting the absolute world on fire.
So Charlie, I was actually thinking about that because I felt the same way. And then I'm like, are we already spoiled by Nico to like, it's not that good of a game. Like, because we did the same thing last week with NC State. It's like, I mean, Nico wasn't even that good tonight. but like he wasn't because he threw his first couple picks of his career. But I think it's wild that this is back-to-back weeks. And Nico, yeah, like every incomplete pass, it's like, that was a little bit off. Like, and we are spoiled and expect him to be near perfect. And he's not gonna be, right?
No, and it's tough because you don't want to saddle that kid with that. At the same time, that is the talent that he possesses. He's just that good. And so you have to look at it through the lens of reality, I guess, and just say, yeah, a game where he's relative to a lot of other teams, he's playing pretty well, but relative to himself, he's not playing that well. But is peppering in these magical moments, the bomb to Brazel and that beautiful pass over the middle and stuff like that. But I think somebody said in the comments, like, he's running around a little bit too much. Some plays are breaking down, some different things. I don't think the offensive line has played spectacularly in this one. At the same time, I mean, I think you can tell, like, these boys expected to just roll the ball out there and win, and that is exactly what is happening. Like, there are some games where that catches you off guard, and then there are games like this where you are every bit of what you thought you were, and you're just steamrolling them. So, it's an interesting one. It's, you'd think there wouldn't be anything to talk about, but there sort of is, because of this sort of spectacular way that this has happened in this half. Just the unusual.
It is a record first time in school history that, I mean, 65 points in one half, 9 touchdowns on 9 offensive drives is insane. And I feel like I'm running out of like ways to describe it. Absurd, ridiculous, insane, stupid, amazing, incredible, like efficient, like dominant, everything about it. We'll have our one word segment in the post game show, which but it's just, the stats are crazy because Nico is 10. His night's over, right? So he's 10 of 16 for 173 and a touchdown. And the one touchdown was beautiful. He ran the ball 5 times for 31 yards. That's definitely way too many carries for the game that this is. And he kind of took a hit that I didn't really like.
Yeah, he needs to learn how to slide.
Yeah, especially like tonight. Because look at Texas. And I know they have Arch Manning, but Tennessee doesn't have a capable backup like Texas does. Quinn Ewers is out with an abdominal strain, I think is what the injury that I heard the report of. But, Arch Manning has come in and lit it up on fire. And they're playing San Antonio. So it's not like they're playing who's better than Kent State, but Nico can't get hurt. Like, he cannot do anything to risk it. You go back, I know, Charlie, you still kind of hold the 2022 Akron game in your file cabinet of just being pissed off because of what happened to Cedric Tillman that night. And would Tennessee have been able to beat Georgia if Cedric Tillman was healthy? Would they, how would the South Carolina game been any different? Probably not, because that one was just weird. But you don't want anything bad to happen in a game like this where there's no point of this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Shut it down. And they obviously they already have. I mean, that's done. So, all right. Well, in the second half of the show, our short segment here for halftime, should we talk about how Vandy is getting their butt kicked by Georgia State?
Is it now a butt kicking?
29. I was just looking at 29-13. Oh, crap. Where did it go? I just had it open. We were just
that would make sense because it was 15-10 the last time I saw it. I haven't seen the
29-17. They're down by 12. At Georgia State. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Well, and then how about that game? We can laugh at Vandy. Vandy came crashing down there. Why are you playing at Georgia State? First of all, but the actual game that I think matters quite a bit is what is happening in Lexington.
Yes. What the hell is that?
Kentucky is up 6-3. They just started the third quarter. I missed that Kentucky had a late field goal right before half, but Georgia doesn't do well at Kentucky. They've had some really weird games the last few times they've been up there. And this looks, and I think I wasn't watching it, but from what I saw from social media, it looked like Kentucky had a pick 6. They got called back as an incomplete pass.
They did. Yes, they did. Maybe is this finally the year where Georgia does a little rebuilding? I guess we'll see. But let's talk about all that right after I tell you about the good folks at Zen Sports. It is football season, and what better way to bet on the big games than on Zen Sports? When you sign up for Zen Sports, you'll automatically earn up to $100 no danger first wager. If your first bet loses, you'll be reimbursed for the amount of the bet up to $100. And for football season, Zen Sports is launching a revamped betting platform for both college and NFL. But what's better? With the new look, Zen Sports will be offering daily promotions, including odds boosts, same game parlays, no danger wagers, and a whole lot more. There's even a one-of-a-kind VIP rewards program. And if you qualify, you can get monthly comps at sporting events, concerts, and even sportsbook bonuses. Go to zensports.com/VIP to check that out. What are you waiting for? Start betting with Zen Sports, and you'll receive true odds on all parlays and an enhanced user experience. Get going and download the app at zensports.com today. Zen Sports. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. No danger. Wager limited to plus 500 odds to qualify. Boosted odds are derived from equivalent parlay bets offered in Tennessee. Must be 21 or older in Tennessee to bet. I was trying to do that in one breath.
Real quick before you, Ben has asked a couple times, how much fun is this? I mean, kind of fun. Like I was having fun earlier. Like I think I'm out of fun now. Like I think I'm like, okay, like this is just a weird night. Like I will want to watch some of this Georgia game in the second half of this.
I tweeted out that I sort of felt bad for Kent State, and somebody replied, a little reply that made me laugh. They said, "This feels like bullying a fourth grader." And I was like, it sort of does.
You know what this is? This is literally Billy Madison playing dodgeball. Like this is what that is.
That was Courtney on Twitter. Just shout out there.
How many points will Tennessee score tonight?
That's exactly where I wanted to go. What's going to be the final score? I thought that'd be the perfect way to kind of send us out here. That's a great question. They're not. I mean, everybody, like Eric says, he wants to score 100. They're not going to do that. I mean, maybe. God knows at this point, Heupel could be shooting for it. I'll say. I mean, if the real question is, do they reach 90?
I mean, Tennessee gets the ball to start the first.
Yeah.
Because let's do some math here. All right. So, I mean, do you think that 3 touchdowns is happening, right?
That's my exact thought. I'm thinking right around there.
So that's 86.
Yes. Which that's got to be close to some kind of
South
record.
Alabama scored 87 the other night.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Josh Heupel is gonna want now that we're here, just do it. Like you already went onside kick up 30-0 in the first quarter. Who cares? Right? Like you've already showed that you have zero morals or F's to give. So just whatever. Just score 90.
I do think that they are going to essentially just hand the ball off. You're going to see Merklinger. You're probably going to see Navy Schuler, and they're just going to hand the ball off. Maybe they'll try to air it out with those guys because Heupel does have that philosophy that's like, I'm still going to play my game, whether it's Nico or a backup in there.
Yeah.
But I do think they'll try to get the clock running and don't just have hopefully not so many stoppages in the second half for our sake. But probably 3 touchdowns, 86 to 90, somewhere right in there.
Here's what I actually care about more. Do not give up a touchdown defensively. That cannot happen.
That's key.
Like, I don't care about anything else in the second half but that.
Yes.
Continue to have 0 touchdowns allowed in all 4 of Nico's starts.
Mm-hmm.
And take that to Norman. Like because I want by the way, we haven't talked about this. College game day is going to be at Norman. I'm sure we'll talk about that in the post-game show. But take that stat to Norman. That's what I want.
Yes. I 100% agree. I want Oklahoma to be so scared when Tennessee comes trotting in there next week because I don't want to say they almost lost to Tulane today, but it was a 4-point game in the fourth quarter. It was a lot closer than it probably would have been if Tulane was playing Tennessee.
Yeah, 23-19, and Tulane had the ball.
And Jackson Arnold got sacked 3-4 times in that game. Tennessee's defensive line should eat now. Obviously, we're going to talk about in the postgame. That's all the postgame is going to be about. I mean, what are we supposed to talk about from this Kent State game? Mike Matthews looks awesome. We should bring that up, I guess. There's going to be some stuff like that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, what are we supposed to talk about? So
I mean, hopefully Crompton can jump in because
I do hope so.
I'm guessing because it is now 10 o'clock Eastern time and the second half's about to start. I'm guessing people will leave Neyland Stadium and Crompton will have the ability to get signal.
Yeah, maybe he'll be at the Waffle House by then, and he can patch in with us.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, like the show, people. Hit the like button.
Yes.
It's a weird. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, hit the like button. Weird night of 65-0. Not going to be the most like crazy juiced up crowd, but hey.
It says we got 900 people in here across all platforms, so there's people watching. Okay, Charlie Burris, Austin Stanley. We will be back. Hopefully, in the post game, Crompton will have better cell service and can hop on here with us again. He's at the game, and we're going to try to patch him in. And so hopefully in the post game we can get him on here for a little bit. But that is it. We'll preview that Oklahoma game after we watch whatever additional murders about to happen. All right. We will talk to everybody then.